आ गया स्टोरी वाला गया, आ गया स्टोरी वाला गया, आ गया स्टोरी वाला गया, आ गया स्टोरी वाला गया. He's a tall and handsome fellow, but all his teeth are yellow, and his stories are the talk of the town. आ गया स्टोरी वाला गया, आ गया स्टोरी वाला गया. He wears a kurta and a dhoti and eats only ketchup with a roti, but his stories are the talk of the town. आ गया स्टोरी वाला गया, आ गया स्टोरी वाला गया. Hello and welcome to Kindle Presents the Storyteller. Kindle Presents the Storyteller is a web series where storytellers like me, where narrators, where orators come and share their favorite stories with the audiences. This is the second chapter, the second episode in the series, and I am your storyteller for the day. My name is Ameen Haque, and people also call me the Storywallah. The reason for that is very simple. I run a company, a storytelling company, that's called what else but Storywallahs. Now, the story that I am going to share with you today has been written by one of the foremost children's authors in India. She needs no introduction. Her name is Sudha Murthy. Yeah, Sudha Murthy, the author of many books. She writes in two languages, Kannada and English. And her books have been translated into more than 16 languages. She's won multiple awards, including the prestigious R.K. Narayan Award for Literature. She's been awarded the Padma Shri by Government of India. And the book from which I am sharing a story today is called Grandma's Bag of Stories. And from that book, the specific story that I am going to share with you today is called 5 Spoons of Salt. Now, why this story? If you ask me the reason, I will not be able to explain that. There's no particular reason. I just like the story just like that, for no particular reason. And I hope you enjoy it as well for no particular reason. So let's get straight into the story. I have to pull up my Kindle for that, get into the library, pull out Grandma's Bag of Stories, adjust the font size so that I can read it clearly, and adjust the brightness. That's set. Go to the story. 5 Spoons of Salt. Once upon a time, not too long ago from the time you live in right now, at a place not too far away from the place you live in right now, there lived a girl called Geeta. If there was one thing about Geeta, it was this, that she was extremely forgetful. She would not remember the tasks assigned to her. One day, Geeta, where are you, Geeta? Geeta's grandfather was calling out to her. And where was Geeta? Geeta was lying in bed, enjoying her favorite book. For some time, she pretended not to hear her grandfather. The book was just too exciting. And who wanted to go out and do some chores? Geeta. This time it was her mother. Finally, with a sigh, she put down the book and went down to see what the commotion was all about. And she went to her grandfather, and the grandfather handed her some money and said, I have a really bad headache since morning. Will you please get these medicines for me? Now Geeta took the money, put it into her pocket, and set off for the market. But before she reached the medical store, there was the sweet shop that she had to cross. And it was not an ordinary sweet shop. This was the best sweet shop in town. As she was passing the sweet shop, her eyes fell on the gulab jamun. Gulab jamun. This was no ordinary gulab jamun. This was the best gulab jamun in the entire town. Sweet, sugary, syrupy. It was calling out to her. It was whispering to her, Geeta, come in. Geeta, come in. Next to the gulab jamun, there were laddus. And next to the laddus, there were the curly, whirly jalebis. There was no way that Geeta could go to the medical store now. She had to have these sweets. Forgetting all about the errand, she stepped into the shop and started tucking into the sweets. Soon, she was joined by a friend, and the two girls now, they ate and chatted. They ate and chatted. They ate and chatted. And morning turned to afternoon. And they continued. They ate and chatted. They ate and chatted. And afternoon turned to evening. And soon the medical store also shut shop. And it was then that Geeta remembered why she had stepped out of the house. But that was already too late. When she hurried back home, how upset her grandfather was. When will you grow up, Geeta? When will you become responsible, Geeta? When? Geeta was sad. She was really sad. But did she mend her ways? No chance. She remained the same forgetful person. Now, another day, when her mother told her to collect the laundry from the clothesline outside the house, she remembered to do it only the next morning, by which time all the clothes had been soaked once again in the overnight rain. That was Geeta for you. There was another instance that comes to my mind. There was a time when Geeta's sister forgot to take the lunchbox with her to school. So Geeta's mother told her, "Hey darling, will you take the lunchbox for your sister? She's forgotten it." Now Geeta took the lunchbox, and as she was walking to the school, before she reached the school, she saw the circus. Yeah, a circus had come to town. Circus? With the jugglers, with the acrobats, with the clowns, with the animals. How could she not see the circus? She went from tent to tent, looking at the jugglers, the acrobats, the clowns, and the animals. Animals, she watched the animals eating, she watched the animals training for the acts, and morning turned to afternoon, and she was hungry. And it was only when she was hungry did she look down at the lunchbox. And then she realized why she was here. She was on the way to school. But it was already too late. The school would have closed for the day. Her sister would have gone back empty stomach. That was Geeta for you. Another time, her father, who was getting late for work, was rushing to get ready. And so he asked her if she could quickly iron his shirt for her. Now she took the shirt, put it on the ironing table, and had just begun to iron when she was distracted by the cries of the fruit vendor who she could see passing by from the window. Now the fruit seller had some ripe, juicy, big, fat mangoes. How could she not haggle with the fruit seller and pick the ripest and the juiciest mangoes? She got busy doing that, forgetting all about the iron on the shirt, till the smoke came out, and when she looked, it was already too late. The shirt was crisp like a toast from the oven, and it was black like carbon. Her father was very upset for many days. But that was Geeta for you. Now, many days after these incidents, one day Geeta came back excited from school because the teacher had announced that the class was being taken out for a picnic. The whole class. And the teacher had asked each student to bring one food item from home which would be shared by all the children. Geeta had chosen to bring sambar. She was very proud of her mother's tasty, tangy sambar, and she was eager to share it with all the other students so that they could have it too. Geeta's mother agreed to make a big pot of sambar for her to take it to the picnic, and that night Geeta went to bed sleeping, dreaming about the sambar, dreaming about the picnic, about all the games they were going to play and all the food she was going to eat. Next morning, Geeta's mother woke up early and she started preparing the sambar. She boiled the dal, she added the vegetables, she added the coconut, she added all the spices and set the pot boiling, and soon a wonderful aroma wafted and tickled Geeta's nose. Geeta's mother looked at Geeta stirring, slowly waking up, and she said, "Hey darling, today is picnic day. Get up, get ready. You got to go for that picnic and I am almost done with the sambar. Listen darling, I have to go to the temple. Will you do one thing for me? The sambar is almost done. Just add 5 spoons of salt into the sambar." Saying that, Geeta's mother bustled off for the temple. Now Geeta's grandmother, who was in the kitchen, she heard that and she said to herself, Geeta, and remember to add 5 spoons of salt? No way. Geeta is going to forget. Sambar will have no salt. All the kids will make fun of her. Geeta will feel very bad. I should help her. Saying that, the grandmother, she took 5 spoons of salt and added that to the pot. Now Geeta's grandfather, he was sitting in the veranda reading a newspaper, and he also heard what Geeta's mother told Geeta. And Geeta's grandfather said to himself, Geeta, and remember to put the salt? No way. She will forget like she forgot those medicines, and the sambar will go to the picnic without the salt. The children will complain. They will make fun of my Geeta. She will feel sad. I must help her. Saying that, the grandfather went into the kitchen, took 5 spoons of salt and added it to the pot. Now Geeta's sister, she was combing her hair, getting ready for school. She heard the conversation and she said to herself, Geeta, Geeta will remember to add salt. No way. They will make fun of her. Geeta will be sad. I have to help her. So Geeta's sister went into the kitchen and added 5 spoons of salt into the pot. Now Geeta's brother was brushing his teeth in the bathroom and he heard the same conversation and he said, Geeta, Geeta will remember to add salt. No way. And he went into the kitchen and he added 5 spoons of salt. And Geeta's father was getting ready for office. He was ironing his shirt. He heard the same conversation and he said, Geeta, Geeta will remember to add salt. Sambar will go to school without the salt. They will make fun of her. I should help her. So Geeta's father went into the kitchen, added 5 spoons of salt into the pot. Finally, Geeta woke up and surprise, wonder of wonder, Geeta remembered that she had to add 5 spoons of salt. So Geeta goes to the kitchen, takes 5 spoons of salt and adds it to the pot. The mother comes back from the temple and she takes the sambar, pours it into a pot, packs it well and sends off Geeta for the picnic. At the picnic, it's a wonderful sight. It's a beautiful spot. All the children are running around playing games, climbing trees, and soon, with all this activity and running around, they are hungry. So the teacher gets them to sit in a circle with the food in the center. Plates are passed around and food is now being served. Puris, chapatis, vegetables, pickles, bhaji, papad, rice. And finally, Geeta goes around serving the sambar from her pot. But what is this? As soon as the children taste the sambar, blah! What is this? Horrible! You call this sambar? Geeta was surprised, astonished, so gingerly she took a morsel and tasted it herself. Pap! She spat it out. It was disgusting to say the least. It was as if her mother had dredged the sea for all the salt and put it into that pot of sambar. But wait, her mother had not added the salt. She had added the salt. What could have gone wrong? Back at home, everybody was waiting for Geeta to come back from the picnic and share with them how good a time she had had. But who do they see coming back in the evening? A girl with a sad face, teary eyes. What happened, Geeta? Everyone asked. And Geeta turns to them, teary-eyed, shouting, and bursts out, "Did any one of you add salt to the sambar?" The grandmother, yes, I added salt, beta. The grandfather, yes, I added salt, beta. Geeta's sister, I added salt as well. Geeta's brother, I added some salt too. Geeta's father, oh, I didn't know that. I added the salt as well. Why did you do that? Amma had told only me to add the salt. Why did you do that? But see, Geeta, you don't remember anything. We thought you will forget. The sambar will go without salt. People will make fun of you. We were only trying to help you. Everybody explained it to Geeta. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Geeta's mother, she called Geeta, pressed her close to her chest, wiped off her tears and said, "Geeta, do you see now? This is what happens when you forget. Now make a promise, not to me, make a promise to yourself that from now on you will be careful, from now on you will be responsible, and from now on you will not be forgetful." Geeta sobbed, Geeta sniffed, and she nodded, and she made that promise to herself. And it took a lot of convincing, but her friends did come to her house for lunch one day to taste her mother's delicious cooking. Especially, she had turned into the responsible Geeta. Now that brings to an end this story that I wanted to share with you. I enjoyed sharing it with you, and I hope you enjoyed listening to it, like I said, for no particular reason. Kindle presents The Storyteller. We'll be back again soon with another storyteller sharing his or her favorite story with you. Till then, keep reading, keep listening, and keep sharing the stories. Namaste, Khuda Hafiz, goodbye.